So this is the end of the Spanish-American War that followed the first video. This is just very, very brief about a war that a lot of people don't really even understand even happened. But when we gained control of the Philippines, the Filipino people didn't want us there, just like they didn't want the Spanish there. So now that we're fighting or controlling their country, they're going to fight. And it ultimately ends up with a war that killed a lot of people, 200,000 Filipinos, 5,000 Americans. And we kept control of the Philippines for pretty much the next 50 years until post-World War II, when we gave the Philippines its independence. And that's one of the things to remember about the Spanish-American War, about how this whole thing worked out, is how imperialized this country became, and we ultimately become a world imperial power, having controlled the Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico, and Cuba for a little while. And that idea of establishing our power as a world nation will continue from that point forward, but that's an important turning point. So as we go through and just kind of remember the ideas behind this whole idea of imperialism, just please make sure you understand what happened, why it happened, some of the causes, some of our abilities to expand, Hawaii and the story related to the Queen, why there were problems in Cuba, how the Spanish responded brutally, how the U.S. takes what they did and made it very sensationalized, things that were not necessarily true through the use of mass media and this concept of yellow journalism, which were basically just total lies. But nonetheless, it got people to buy the newspapers. Causes and the different things, the Loam letter and the USS Maine, both are critical, both are part of the non-negotiables. The ultimate win with the battle in Cuba and the Rough Riders, the Spanish Navy being destroyed in the Philippines, critical components to that. How the Treaty of Paris brokered peace, gave the U.S. control of a variety of regions, and allowed us to become an imperial power. How we at one point intervened in Cuba and had the ability to intervene in Cuba before kind of casting that out. And then finally, the Filipino War, about this conflict in the Philippines that lasted for a while, ultimately to the U.S. controlling that region for 50 years until we gave them their freedom after World War II. So that's it. Hopefully you can pause, rewind, repeat as much as you need to. Make sure you have all the things that are in red written down as part of your notes. Make sure you listen to what I say as I try to explain it as best as I could. Bring me any questions you might have in FIT, and that'll be it.